Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social podcast. I'm your host, Maz, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ben.
Hello.
And Ryan.
Hello.
And we have got a very, very special guest this week. We have got Joe Gilmore.
How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you, mate? You good?
I'm feeling very good after that weekend.
I thought that would be your answer. But no, first of all, thank you very much for coming on. And we will kick off straight away. We'll get into it because, of course, it was a great weekend for you guys, and a very, very poor one for us. But just sort of straight off the bat, what do you think sort of was the main factor behind the result for you? And yeah, do you think it's Carlo Ancelotti? Is it the new players that come in? What do you pinpoint it down to?
I think it's Everton surprisingly being consistent again, because that is not something that we're used to. I think it's capitalising on Hughes being a little bit sloppy in some areas. I mean, at the start of the game, I could sort of tell it was a bit wary because you were throwing in mad tackles, just misplaced passes and stuff like that. So personally, at the moment, we just seem to be capitalising on all the mistakes. As I say, Calvert-Lewin is just banging them in. He only got one in this game, which is probably a bad result for him. But it's just us being on top form. I thought, I couldn't really fault us, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, you obviously mentioned Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's been, like you said, he's a man possessed. I don't know what's happened since, was it January this year? He's just been, sort of back end of last season, all of this season so far. What do you think's the main factor behind his form? Do you reckon for you or Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
I think majorly, as it is with most strikers, it's confidence. Because we've had him for a few years, and he hasn't been in top form for a while. I mean, at the start of this year, he was really good, and then we went into lockdown, and then when we came out, he wasn't that great. I don't think he scored for quite a few games, and then as soon as the new season started, he's just on form. I think it's just Ancelotti has really helped with his confidence. So. And as you say, if you're a striker, you got confidence, you just score goals for fun.
Yeah, it's mad. And obviously, he done it again against us, which wasn't ideal for us, of course. And I know, Ryan, you were fuming with the result this weekend, say the least. What, just from a Brighton perspective, we've obviously heard from Everton perspective why it went so well. What was it for you from our perspective? Why was it just not a good day for us?
Yeah, it wasn't a good day, was it? It was. I think it was overall. We can't really point fingers. It was just all round sloppy. It was poor, to be honest. All round poor in midfield, especially. We got completely dominated. James Rodriguez is just different class. Since he's come into Everton, he's just been terrifying. And I must admit, I think I said it in the last podcast. I'm so scared of him, and he did it to us. But it wasn't good from back to front, to be honest. Defensively, surprisingly, really poor. Ben White and Lewis Dunk had an absolute disaster class, and that's not something that many people would say.
Yeah, that was actually what I was going to go on to, Ben. Obviously, our defence. Usually, we rely on our defence, and we as Brighton fans, we're like, our defence is class. We're that's one thing we can rely on. The solidity about we've got Dunk, Webster, White. Everyone was raving about Ben White coming back from Leeds and all this stuff, but. Yeah, especially against Everton, Ben White got exposed once, and then against Man United, he got turned inside and out by Rashford. Mm-hmm. What do you think's going on, Ben? Why are we so poor defensively at the moment?
I can't even put my finger on it. It's weird because the past few seasons, it's always been we can defend well, but we can't score goals, and now we're scoring goals, but we can't defend well. Especially Dunk, he just seems to be having a really poor start to the season. And when Calvert-Lewin scored his header. And saw the replay, I saw Ben White's on the floor. I was thinking, God, it must be a foul because why is Ben White going to be on the floor for no apparent reason? They show the replay and he's literally just gone over for no apparent reason. I was so confused. I was like, VAR will sort that out. That was obviously going to be a foul, but it wasn't. I don't understand what he was doing on the floor. Yeah, that's shambolic defending. And then even against Man United in the League Cup, McTominay's header, it's just poor marking. Then when they scored again, poor marking again, zonal marking. I think we were trying out for some reason, but. Clearly, we're missing Duffy's aerial threat. Looks like it.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, to be fair. Duffy, I don't think we realise how much he might have brought to that defence. It's just frustrating, defensively. Hopefully that's what we wanted. But going back to Everton, Joe, you guys have just, was it 7 wins on the spin? Is that right?
Yeah, 7 on the go, yeah.
7 on the go. So what that as an Everton fan,
It's unheard
must
of,
be
isn't
just,
it? Unheard of.
It's unspeakable. Like, can't tell you how much faith Everton. We've never had this much faith in a manager. Consider the last one, like, so we've had Sam Allardyce, Koeman, Marco Silva. I mean, it's Silva at the start. I'm sure he was also a flyer at the start. But usually what happens is they start off on a flyer and then get 5 games in, boom, shite.
Yeah.
But like, for some reason, Carlo Ancelotti, he's been consistent. Like last season, we finished okay. He brought us back up. But like, yeah, this season it's just like this new level of, I don't know. It's just like an actual oomph behind the team. I actually enjoy watching Everton again because there's a point where you expect every game just to like draw or lose. Because one of Everton's worst things is sometimes if it's at home, we'll do it against the big teams, but they're easy games that we should be slotting. You know, like Brighton.
It's begun. It's begun.
You've come on the wrong podcast for that one.
Joe, just remember, it's 3 versus 1 here, so just be careful.
but like you know, like you Watfords, when they weren't that good, we should be slotting them like 2-0, 3-0 every time, like we are Everton, but we just weren't getting them results. And then we like, you saw it, I think it was against Bournemouth the other season when we like 3-1 up 90 minutes and then we conceded 2 in injury time, and it was just a consistent thing for Everton to do where it's like we can't trust ourselves till we're 4-1 up and it's 90 minutes. But I think what Ancelotti's done is give us a bit of confidence, and we're not messing up in those final minutes, and we're getting those results.
That reminds me of last October when we played you at the Amex, and it was 2-1 after 75 minutes, wasn't it? And then I think it was Calvert-Lewin scored, and then all of a sudden, okay, maybe it wasn't a penalty at the time, but then it's 3-2 in the 94th. It's just, you know, Ancelotti's come in. Was he there at that time? I can't remember.
Not sure.
But he's come in and he's just changed you completely. And he might have been. Well, either way.
Well, no, maybe it was Silver, actually.
Yeah. It's become, you know, pretty amazing, to be honest.
No, yeah, it's mad. Like, I know, Joe, you said we're Everton. Like, I noticed that little phrase, we are Everton. Like, is that, for you, is that like a mentality? So, no disrespect, but do you think, you are a top 6 side, and when you don't get those results against, let's say, the lesser teams, as you mentioned, Brighton, the lesser team, is that like a mentality thing? Do you think Ancelotti's come in and actually gave you that mentality of like, look, we are, you know, winners. We deserve a top 4 spot. Like, do you think that's that mentality that you have?
Yeah, well, I think for me, growing up, we were always hovering around top 4. It was always like between us and Liverpool, like, you know, fighting for that top 4, top 5. And then obviously the past couple of years, Liverpool have been absolutely smashing it. Like, give them the due, they've been absolutely smashing it the past couple of years. Everton fans.
It's very refreshing to hear an Everton fan praise Liverpool.
But like, I can't lie. I can't say that they haven't won the title, they won the Champions League. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Because even when Liverpool used to win it in 2005, they weren't great in the league. But like, it's just nice that we're actually back doing well. I know it's only 4 games in and all that, but like, still, for us, that's good.
You're happy to be here, aren't you?
Mate, it's the first time in years where like I forgot how good it is to have a good midfield, because we've been hovering around for years having like average players. Like, we'll get someone like Andre Gomez, and we'd be like, oh my god, he's amazing. But yeah, he looks amazing because he's playing with bloody Tom Davis, you know what I mean? And then you bring in Allen, you bring in Rodriguez, you bring in Decore. Like, Decore's come from Watford, but he's still a class player.
Yeah.
And like, he just makes everyone else look pony. Do you know what I mean? It just makes everyone else look not up to standard at all. Like, no one else can get in our midfield now unless one of them gets injured.
Yeah, let's talk about one negative for you, mate, because you sound too positive, and I'm sure some Brighton fans.
I know what's
bring
going
you back down to earth now. So
T-Rex, I know what's going on, mate.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Mate, I don't even know. If we had a goalkeeper, we would storm the league. Genuinely, we'd storm the league, clean sheets.
I don't know about storming the league, but I mean, I think,
but it's only Pickford. It's only Pickford. All of our mistakes, 9 times out of 10, do it was our fault a little bit for our first goal. But he brought himself back, scored a little header. Was it a header? I'm Pretty sure
Yeah.
it was either anyway.
It
I
was.
know Everton fan will call me up on that. Okay, good. But yeah, like for me, it's only Pickford that's messing up for us. If we had like just a half decent keeper, do wrong, Pickford. If he was like 4 inches taller, he'd be a great keeper. I can't fault him. He's great for England, but all his goals he's letting in, he's stretching out, so he just can't reach the ball.
He's low on confidence, isn't he, as well?
And he's low on confidence. And I like to strikers. If you're low on confidence, you're not going to perform. And if you're a goalkeeper, I heard it over the weekend. Everyone makes mistakes, but when you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, everyone remembers it because it's a goal. So,
and it's not just
it's
not just a one time though, is it? He's not just done it once. Like you can forgive him maybe for doing it once. But get Ancelotti, get his arm around him, going, look, it's only one time you've done it. But I think it's becoming a bit of a regular occurrence, not only just to be fair. For not just for England, but for Everton. So, is it that confidence? Is it? What do you think he needs now? Like, what in this point in time, what does he need to get that form back?
Well, I don't think we've got a second keeper at the minute who we can just say, oh yeah, take Pickford out, put them in instead. I wouldn't say we've got that at the minute. So, I think it is we go all out, spend about 40 million on another keeper and get a sick keeper, or we get your Gazanigas, you get your Romero, get them in, second goalkeeper. If Pickford's not doing his business, put them in instead.
Romero's not a bad keeper though, so that wouldn't be a good shout. That would be a really good shout.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Well, obviously, the transfer market. So at the time of recording, the transfer market's still got another sort of time? Is it 4 hours? About 4 hours. Roughly about 4 hours. So in an ideal world, Joe, if you could pick one goalkeeper to sign, any goalkeeper, who are you signing right now? Who are you signing?
Alisson.
No brainer.
For me, at the minute, it's got to be Gazaniga. Because personally, like Romero, I don't know what it is. Like I'm just not sold fully by him. Just considering like how badly De Gea has done, and he's still not getting put in.
And they've got Henderson as well.
Don't be wrong.
Yeah, they got Henderson.
Henderson, and he's not even making past that. I'd have Henderson. He would be the dream. Like, he's the dream for
he's class.
Getting Dean Henderson, because that would be great. Because obviously he's young as well. So hopefully he can only progress. But I'd probably say at the minute, lock in Gazaniga, have him second. Pickford messes up again, put him in half time if needs be. But I'd
drill is what you said then.
I'd say it'd be in for me because obviously I think it's more likely we'll get Romero because obviously United have got Henderson now, but I've seen that they're only likely to sell to us because they're seen us as a rival now, which isn't good. So
no, cool. Well, I don't think. I think you're more than a rival now. You're like the top dogs in the situation. So
Premier League champions.
But no, that's very. Yeah, no, it's very interesting. Like, obviously, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like he doesn't have any competition, so he's just probably thinking, I could do what I want. Basically, I'm not gonna get dropped because I'm the only option they've got. So, like,
still England number one. Really. So it's like,
I
mean, that's his whole thing.
But that's the weird thing, though. He hasn't made, like, I don't think any mistakes for England. So I don't know what it is when he's playing for Everton. Is it the defence in front of him? Is that a point? Could you make a point for that?
I can't even make a point about the defence because I think our defence is, don't get me wrong, Yerry Mina, class player, does make a couple of mistakes, but still, like, you can't just blame it all on the defence because if, like, Yerry Mina only messes up a couple of times, and if he messes up, you should have a solid keeper in Pickford to back him up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no saving the Basuma goal though. That was unbelievable.
Oh man, that was genuinely. I'd say that is one of the goals of the season. That there is no saving that whatsoever.
We'll take that. We'll take that as a trophy.
We'll take that one dub. Put that one dub.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we're winning this season. Cheers, Joe.
Yeah,
at all. Not only this season.
Get it in the cabinet.
But yeah, as I say, and you can't even blame the fans. Like, Everton fans are horrible in the stadium, but it's not even like you can blame us.
Yeah. So basically, Joe, he's got no excuses. Basically, he's a buck up or get out.
Yeah.
Right. fair play. I mean, you can't argue with that. All right, so yeah, very very interesting. So yeah, it's a big talking point. We can't avoid that. Pickford is probably your weakest area of the team. So I think once you get either someone to back as a backup or someone to replace him, I think I personally think you could definitely push for a Champions League spot. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know, are you going for the league title, Joe? Do you reckon?
Durham would be lovely. But yeah, obviously you have to be realistic. I'd say top 6. If I'm honest, I'd say top 6. Don't get me wrong. Obviously now with the run that we're on, Champions League is the goal. I know Carlo will want it. But I think top 6 will do me. As long as we get Europa, that's fine.
Yeah. No, I think that's spot on, to be honest. Like, again, this is without I'm going to sound really harsh here or disrespectful, but I personally think you guys got a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? You still got that sort of big. You are a big club, don't get me wrong.
Big club mentality.
You've got that big club mentality where you sort of feel like, we deserve top 4 because we're Everton. I feel like you've got that aura still about you, like top 6, whatever. And I don't feel like.
Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Newcastle, we've got massive fan base. Look at us. We take our tops off at games. You're great. Well done. Like, what do you do on the pitch for me? So I feel like, without sounding harsh or disrespectful, I feel like you still have that bit of that mentality that I think needs to go. But that's just my point of view. But I think it's refreshing.
Do you think you probably, obviously being an Everton fan, I wouldn't be able to tell. But do you think you get that because you're obviously not?
I mean, I've got to be honest, right? And I'll say this because I think with Everton, I think they have a right to think that because Everton's, I've watched them. Like, you always relate Everton as the team that should be there, but they're not there, And obviously, since Liverpool have sort of picked up now, and Joe, I'm sure you'll be thinking, my God, yeah, Liverpool have been brilliant, but Everton should have that right, and I think a lot of clubs should because you see. Was it Burnley got Europa League as well? So like there's all sorts of clubs that can get there, and this is what I always say. I don't think it's impossible for any club to get Europa League, and I think it's always something that you should be looking for. And a big club, like Everton.
So Ryan, are you saying that we're going to do that? Is that what you're saying? Brighton are going to get Europa?
I'm not saying we're going to do it, but I'm saying there's no reason why we couldn't. I mean, it's not really unrealistic, is it? Because you see some clubs that get there. I mean, Burnley got there.
Yeah.
So. Leicester won the league, but Blackburn won the league. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not an unrealistic thing to say we could get Europe. I'm not saying we will, and I'm not saying we should, but I'm saying it's not unrealistic to say. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying with Everton. Obviously, our standards are much lower, but they've been in the Premier League for years, and they are an established Premier League club, and they are a big club with good fan base. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be looking at that sort of top 6, top 4 spot, especially this season under a world-class manager.
No, definitely. I think Carlo Ancelotti was an absolute game changer for you boys. Like to get a world class manager like him in is just incredible. So we've got Graham Potter, you've got Carlo Ancelotti. So
I know I'd rather have.
But no, it's good to hear. That's actually takes me on to a good point. Actually, that's one thing I was going to ask you, Joe. What is your view as an Everton fan or even a Premier League fan on us as a team at the moment? So. Not past them, not maybe on past seasons. Like currently, as you see Brighton, what are your thoughts like, in terms of our style of play, in terms of our stature, all that kind of stuff?
Sorry, can you just repeat that? Sorry, someone was.
So that's all right. Just it would be great to get your perspective on it, just as an Everton fan / Premier League fan. What's your view on Brighton as a club? So not in terms of like our style of play, but just like how we like to think we're progressing. So what are your views? Do you think we are doing that? Or
I think definitely you are progressing. I mean, even so against Man United the other week, you really, really unlucky not to win. Just that VAR goal was an absolute killer.
Don't start that again. Oh my God.
I don't even know what to say about that. I was just like, I can't believe they can undo the final whistle.
It's unbelievable.
It's mad. It's mental.
It's just... We ranted about that, didn't we, last week? It was
it wasn't. It's one of those though. Like it's VAR because obviously the incident was done during full time. Well, during the game, sorry, and then it was full time whistles blown, and then we're reviewing it, and then they gave it. So technically, it happened during the game, which is I don't know. It's all a lot of technicalities. Who knows? what the fuck was going on, but it happened, and we can't really cry about it. But yeah, no, it's nice to hear that at least you think we're sort of progressing, and we sort of play a good style of football, which I think was under Houghton. I don't know if you remember those days, but in our early sort of Premier League games, we felt like last week we discussed it, didn't we, Ben and Ryan? We discussed saying that he was quite negative at times. Whereas sort of under Potter, we feel like we're progressing quite a bit. So it's refreshing to hear from a Premier League fan that they sort of agree, I suppose. We'll take it. Anyway.
I think previously Brighton was seen as sort of like, oh yeah, they're gone, they'll go down. They're almost like a Huddersfield. But I don't think there's that same mentality at the minute. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay to slander Huddersfield on here, aren't I?
Oh, of course, mate. Yeah, slander who you want, mate. Who cares? Who cares? Of course, that's a fair statement. I think that's one thing as a Brighton fan personally. I got really wound up about was in pre-season, like to this season. So obviously, we're only 3 or 4 games in, but prior, everyone wrote us off. They're like, Brighton are getting relegated. Yeah, they're not good enough.
Everyone's league predictions. It was Brighton relegated with why?
The thing is, though, they were right at the time. Like Houghton's football, as much as again, love the bloke, absolute legend, got us here. But it's just not sustainable in the Premier League to be performing the way we did with right off every single away game we ever went to in the first 2 seasons. We would park the buses, and I remember our best results come from parking the bus on the majority away from home. We would just get absolutely battered by a side like Everton, anyone higher than 10th in the league. And it's just, so you can see why. And it's not silly because, we weren't that good, were we? I mean, we got the odd good result, but I mean, in particular, the 2018-19 season, we were incredibly lucky not to go down. We only didn't go down is because Cardiff were incredibly somehow worse than us. But conceding 7 goals to Bournemouth and Cardiff at home in 1 week is just almost unforgivable, isn't it, really?
One of the worst weeks of my life.
We sort of deserved it.
Yeah, so
Ben, not good. But no, we're here now, so let's just count our blessings.
We're here now, yes.
Yeah, we kick on. So just going on to a bit of a random sort of subject, Joe.
Well, we were touching on the past, weren't we? So now this is going to tie into this stat, Maz, because we're talking about the past, and now we're going to go even further back.
Okay. All right. So basically, here's one for you, Joe. Last time, Man United and Liverpool lost 7-2 since 1962-63 season. What do you think happened that season? So the last time that happened, something for your club. It was a really sort of momentous time for you guys. What do you think happened? You won the league. There you go. So that could be a good omen, Joe. What do you reckon? Do you reckon you're going to do it?
Do you reckon we're going to win the league?
Hopefully not.
I don't.
I don't think I'm be clipped in 3 months' time when it's just.
I'm not willing to say it on camera. That's what I mean. But also, at the same time, if I say it on camera and we do it, it's like. Yeah. But
you're the Messiah.
No. Well, I hope you don't, Joe, because if you do, that year Brighton got relegated to the 4th division. So
alongside Bradford Park Avenue, Carlisle, and Halifax. Now that's a nice array of teams there to be in the same bracket as. So fingers crossed you don't do it, Joe. But honestly,
I think genuinely, if we did top 4, that'd that's absolutely fine. I'm not bothered about. I'm not even going to think over the league, but at the same time, it would be absolutely beautiful to shut Liverpool fans up.
after they
imagine the year after they've waited all that time to get a title, and you get one the season after that.
That'd be
remarkable as well.
And then final thing, obviously, Liverpool, they've had an incredible couple of years. They're obviously winning the Champions League, winning their first league title, the Premier League title, sorry. And they just had an incredible couple of years. So how's that been for an Everton fan? Like, how's that been coping with their success? Have you been getting a lot of jip from the red side?
It's been horrific, if I'm honest. I think also just because I can't win an argument because we haven't beat them for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like you can't. So you got to take as much as you can get. So obviously last night that was absolutely beautiful because we could rip. When was the last time Liverpool got beat 7-2 and we won the league? Obviously you said 1963 or whatever it was, but there's just it's unspeakable. It's just unspeakable by Villa as well. So
yeah, by Villa.
It's just
how did that happen? Let's just talk about that, because this weekend it's just gone. What happened in them 2 games? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? 7-2. Just let that sink in.
2020 done a madness on the weekend.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
But like, how are Villa and Everton 2 invincible teams in the PL? Both sponsored by Kazoo. Sponsored by Kazoo.
That's a very good point,
it.
actually.
I think
Kazoo are doing a madness. They've done some kind of spell on Everton and Villa. They got some kind of I don't know what's going on, but they're giving some good luck.
But you know what was the funniest thing? I did tweet about this a couple of weeks back. I went to Italy at the end of August when we just brought this kit out, and I love anything pink at the minute because I got the new pink Nike Air Max 95s or 110s as we call them.
Yeah.
And so obviously you got to colour coordinate. You got to wear anything pink. So I thought, I'll wear this. So I went to Trento. I was walking around the streets of Italy. I was getting funny looks. I thought, I'm 6'7". Obviously, I'm a bit tall, so everyone's like, God, look at the size of him. And then I walked past this restaurant, and you have fellas outside the restaurant trying to pull you in.
Yeah, trying to get you in, yeah.
And he goes, Kazoo. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, no, Kazoo. I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, you don't want to know what that means in Italian? And I'm like, what? And he goes, it means cock. And I was like, what?
No. That's incredible.
Kazoo, the translation of Kazoo in Italian is cock. So I was walking around Italy with cock on my top all day.
I tell you what, I bet the marketing team are fuming. Do you reckon they checked that before they were like, yeah, we agree for the sponsorship?
Well, see, the thing is, it's spelt with. So this is spelled Kazoo. The direct translation is CAZZO. So it's like Kazoo, So
if you said it out loud, it'd be like Kazoo. Well, it sounds like it.
Same pronunciation. So I like loads of Everton fans who are like diehard Everton fans, like, oh, it's Kazoo, it's not Kazoo, it's Kazoo. And then all the Italians replying like, yeah, but have you seen that first time? It's like someone saying the F word with 2 C's. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it does look the same, but yeah.
We used to have an issue. We used to have an issue with our sponsor. Obviously, we had Skint, which was Fatboy Slim's record label, which was to every Brighton fan, it was cool because Fatboy Slim's a legend.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, "Oh, you've got Skint on your top. Your club is so poor." It's like really great banner that is. But dead chat. Dead chat. But it was
beautiful shirts, though, weren't they? Such shirts and Skin ones.
Lovely. But no, that's jokes. Not ideal. I mean, I'd rather have Skint than Kazoo, knowing what it means. But that's jokes. And what was your reaction? Were you just like, all right, cheers, lad? Like, yeah.
I literally bang straight back to the hotel. I already got me a photo. I wasn't asked. But straight back to the hotel, shave yourself.
Fair play. So, quick dash. Nice. And then final thing, once we sort of, just to wrap this sort of segment up. So the I don't know if you've seen, but the song that Everton released has actually hit number 1 over Miley Cyrus, which is pretty mental considering how big Miley Cyrus is.
I bet she was screaming Kazoo when she saw it, wasn't she?
How the hell does that happen then? What's going on there?
It was so. There's this lad on Twitter called Finn Kitch, and basically when we won our 3rd game, or when I think it was the 3rd game of the season in the league, and it was a bit. It's like to equate it. It's like remember when England was smashing it and everyone was doing "It's Coming Home" and everyone was changing everything to "It's Coming Home." He basically put out something with Spirit of the Blues on. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think that's the story anyway. And so everyone was just replying to him with loads of dancing videos of Spirit of the Blues. Next thing you know, someone finds it on iTunes. People keep buying it on iTunes. So it's like, oh, should everyone just buy it on iTunes, get in the charts? Yeah. And then we were like, yeah, seriously, chance we're getting number 1. And then everyone started retweeting it. I think we had a few celebrities doing it. And then the official Everton account started getting behind it, saying buy it. And the next thing you know, it's number 1 in the iTunes start. I think we've done it in one night. We were number 1 in one night. and
actually nice.
then after that, we got Spirit of Blues #1, and then we got Here We Go, which is an Everton song, #2, and then we got Z Cars #3.
Really?
So we were like
So you
1, 2,
got,
and
you
3.
got 1, 2, 3. That's
One,
Mad.
two, three
I didn't know it was
in
1, 2, and
iTunes
3. I
charts.
knew it was number 1, but my
Yeah.
God.
And then
That's
I
mad.
think
Wow.
the official one, which came out on, was it Sunday? Was it yesterday? Yes, I think it was Sunday. We were like 3rd in the official charts. Like, don't get me wrong,
That's
it's easy
mad.
to top the iTunes charts, but to get 3rd
Yeah.
in like top 40, that's something. I mean, and you can only put that down to the Everton dads. Everton dads,
You're
they
daft,
get
you're daft.
behind something.
You're
Your
daft.
This goes
Everton
back to what I was
dads.
saying about Everton, actually, because when we were talking about Everton fans, them having the right to be up there,
Yeah.
and then we're
Yeah.
talking about Brighton. We couldn't get a number 1, 2, and 3 if we wanted to get it.
No,
we haven't
no.
got enough fans to even get to the top 40. So there's no chance that's going to happen. So that
'cause
goes
he's
that
old- he's old
actually,
Everton
that
fan.
actually consolidates my point there as to why Everton fans should have the right to say they are a top 6, top 4 club.
No,
Yeah.
very true. I think the closest we're ever going to get to number 1 is Fatboy Slim, and that's not even technically ours.
Oh,
so,
Fatboy.
yeah, that's
I
probably
used
the
to
best
sit
way we're
next to him
gonna
at the ground at the Amex. I used to see him outside having a fag after
is
the
it?
game. Yeah.
nice and classy. Big up,
Definitely.
big up, Fatboy Slim. Love it. Right, well there you go. So that was a sort of a review of the Brighton Everton game. I hope you guys enjoyed our sort of analysis of that. So just a little bit more about you, Joe, if you don't mind. Like, some people might be wondering, oh, have we lost?
He's gone.
Oh,
Oh,
there you go.
he's come back.
Sorry. He's come back. A bit of technical glitch.
I'm back.
So yeah, Joe, just for the people that don't know a little bit about you. So just to give you a bit of an overview, of course you can stop me if I'm wrong or if anything I'm describing is not correct. But you're sort of in the online world, especially Twitter, you're known as Gilology, and you make sort of funny memes,
Yeah, Gilology,
funny
yeah.
sort of videos. Yeah, is it Gilology? How do you say it?
Gil, yeah. I think
Yeah,
there's
Gil.
a little bit of audio delay.
Oh right, apologies.
Sorry.
So yeah, online you got that presence of making memes, funny videos, etc. First of all, what was how did you get into that? What was the sort of backstory of getting into content creation?
So basically, it was literally just 14-year-old, 50-year-old me pissing about on Twitter, trying to get a few likes. Just trying to be
Sounds
trying to be
familiar,
funny,
that.
basically.
Yeah,
And then,
it sounds like all of us, I think.
we've all done it. And then I started like on Everton Twitter, basically just like having a laugh, taking the mick out of Liverpool fans, as I still do. And yeah, just messing about really. And then in terms of like making it almost into a bit of a business, I seen a Norwegian lad called Christian von Strigino on Twitter making these like funny head swaps and stuff. I was like, God, they're amazing. Like, how the hell do you do them? I had a little bit of background in like video edit and stuff, but like very, very basic. And then literally I made on one. I must have spent about 3 days making this 6-second shite video.
6 seconds. What was it, like a head swap? Was it?
No, it was like it was taking a mick out of there's a fellow on the Red Men TV called Chris Pyack, and he said something about after the Liverpool Chelsea game. I can't really repeat it on this, but I'm sure we all know what that clip is. And it was basically just me putting it on like the Teletubbies in one of the TV TV on the chest, and then it was just that, and then all the Teletubbies going like that. Mad. Don't know why I thought of it, but it was the trend at the time to make videos of it. And I sent it to him and went, "Oh, it'd be like this, mate." And he put something like a star or something like that. And then he followed me back, and then literally, pretty much at that time, taught me everything I knew. And then from that, just end up working with a few brands because I was just doing it by myself. End up going a bit bigger on Vine and stuff, and then start working
Good
with
old Vine days.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Vine.
Yeah, rest in peace.
And
Class.
then literally lived on Vine and Twitter. And then I was working with a couple of brands, and then I was actually, funny story, I was going to go for Sport Bible full time.
Yeah.
And then last minute, Christian said to me, because he was working for Joe.uk at the time, he said, don't go to Sport Bible, come to Joe instead. And
bit of beef. Bit of online beef. Yeah.
And now I've obviously done the Robin van Persie and come back.
Yeah, so just to give a bit of context for the people that don't know, obviously, Joe, you are currently working for Sport Bible, an online sport publisher, and just quickly give us a quick review of sort of what's your role there? What do you do there?
Yes, I work mainly more in like Lab Bible and stuff.
Okay.
So it's more like ideation for campaigns and stuff like that, and then day-to-day editorial, sticking my finger in.
I've been seeing a lot of Everton memes and posts on Sport Bible.
That's not to do with me. Please.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
No
It's not
bias.
to do with me. I've had a couple of messages off my boss like, why is our like Sport Bible Twitter turned into like an Everton fan page? I'm like, not to do with me. But yeah, I can't help us being the best. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. So I do that. I've done a couple of ed swaps, because that's what I mainly did for Joe.
Yeah.
Before I turned into presenter, but yeah, I've done a couple of ed swaps for Lab Bible, and I think they did quite well. I think Henderson and DJ Khaled share one, which is a bit of a mad
Jeez.
one.
My favourite head swap was I think it was Joe.co.uk, and it was Klopp and some of the players walking through with the Beastie Boys soundtrack. Do anyone remember that?
Yeah, that was Christian. Yeah.
That was class. That was the first ever. That was my introduction to head swaps. They were so good. So unbelievable.
Iconic, that one. I think he's like throwing a beer at Wenger or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure you agree with me, Joe, but he's like the king. I think he's like the king of head swaps. He done the Solskjaer one, Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you guys remember that one. He done that one. Yeah. That went mega viral. Yeah, like Solskjaer was. Yeah, I can't remember. It was all the managers all in one. But he's like the king, and then I'd say Joe's like the apprentice. He's like he's the next in throne. For
I like to think so anyway.
Yeah.
Christian's Liverpool, and then Joe's Everton. Then.
Yeah, so it makes it even. Well, he is a Liverpool fan, so it just makes it even better.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
It's all down to him. Like he is like the king of head swaps. Nailed on.
Yeah, he's incredible, to be fair. And I know you mentioned presenting. You said you presented for Joe, so I guess gives us swiftly on to what I wanted to mention. You did a video for Joe called the Wigan Kebab video. Yeah. Now I'll get you to explain it a little bit more because people are thinking, what the hell is a Wigan Kebab? But you've recently, so you did this video. How long ago was it?
So it was. I think it was the 5th of November, so it's about 11 months ago. Bang on.
Okay, so about 11 months ago, but you've now gone. So that it did really well initially, anyway.
Yeah,
done really well.
It's about. I think it got 1 million views in 24 hours. I think it was on about 7 the other week.
Mad. So yeah, well there you go. Yeah, so it banged when it first got released, but it's now recently in the last couple of weeks just went mad in America for some reason. Yeah. It's gone viral in America. So just first of all, what is a Wigan Kebab? And just talk us through like what was the sort of the whole concept behind that?
So literally, I'd never done any presenting before. I think I'd maybe be on camera once, not presenting now. I was in work one day making a head swap, and then someone walked in and went, "You eating a Wigan Kebab today?" And I was like, "What the fuck is a Wigan Kebab?" I was like, "What is a Wigan Kebab?" And it was just like, "Well, we're taking you to Wigan. You're eating a couple of things at a chippy. We need a couple more people on camera." So I was like,
"That's like the best brief ever." It's like, we're just going up north to just have some kebab and chips.
He was like, "Yeah, you're having a Wigan Kebab." So I was like, "All right, yeah, whatever. As long as I get free scran." And then I was like, "Bloody hell!" I'm like. I was off shit myself, so I was like, have a Stella on the way, you'll be sweet. So I was like, okay, done a long drive to Wigan, warm Stella in hand, nailed that, and then just literally got mic'd up, and then ate this thing called a Wigan Kebab. Now a Wigan Kebab is usually a meat and potato pie.
All right.
See, this might be a bit dodgy because I don't know how you guys say it, but I call it a batch. What would you call it? It's going to spark a massive debate.
What, like a pizza?
What is
like
it?
A bap.
What is it?
No,
yeah,
like a bap. Yeah.
Oh, a bap.
Like
we call it a bap.
Whatever you call it.
Yeah, well, I know some people call it a barm.
Yeah,
it's different all the way across the country.
Yeah, but I call it a batch personally. So anyway, it's a meat and potato pie in a bap, and that's called a Wigan Kebab.
Was it nice? Genuinely?
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was,
really?
Mate, it's carbs on carbs on carbs. As I say in the video, I absolutely love it. And then I had that, and that for some reason the Americans they were shocked a little bit, but they weren't really that bothered. And I had this next thing which is called a smack barn pea wet, or smack barn pay wet, sorry. and which is, if you haven't seen the video, it's still major. So, see, round ours we call smack a scallop, which is just like, do you know what a scallop is?
Sorry, smack.
Smack. It's not the smack you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. Right.
The scallop that good, they call it smack.
Yeah. But like we call it a scallop. Like, do you know what a scallop is?
Yeah.
All I know is scallop the fish. Is it scallop the fish, right?
Right. No, it's not fish.
Oh,
no,
it's
not fish.
It's like it's a little bit like a hash brown, but not a hash brown. So it's like a battered potato, basically.
We're all baffled down here.
Right.
It's a battered potato.
Okay.
You'll have to watch it to see it. It has to be seen to be believed. And then pay wet is, you know, like when you have peas, yeah. It's not the peas, it's the juice off the peas. So that, and then you just put
I hate peas, so that sounds like a nightmare to me.
No. I hate peas as well. This is why I was amazed. I hate peas as well.
Right.
So it's just the juice off the peas, just to moisten it up, as he says it. A couple of peas on there. And then that's put in a bath as well. And honest to God, I preferred the smack bar and pay west to the wing kebab. That was amazing.
No way.
And
I need one of those again, I think.
Yeah. No, I'll do it earlier.
But and then we had another one which is called a baby's head, which is baby's head, but in like a Wigan accent. So, and it's called it's called a baby's head because it's a steak pudding, a bit like a steak pie, but it's a bit more soft. And then you turn it over so it's like flat, and then like the bottom is at the top. And then it's supposed to be, if you crack it open, it looks like a baby's head. Like it just looks like a baby's head.
How do you know what a baby's head looks like though, cracked open?
This is Wigan we're talking about, right?
It's just Wigan, mate. It's just Wigan.
It sounds like medieval times.
By the way, anyone who's like tuned in for the last 4 5 minutes probably thinks this is like a food podcast. We can assure you it is a Brighton dedicated podcast.
Next week, Gordon Ramsay.
Next week we've got Gordon Ramsay on the pod. But no, Joe, that's incredible. That is.
But I have to say, genuinely, the thing that made the video is the fella behind the counter, because he's just so sound, and like I half couldn't understand half the things he was saying because his accent's so thick. And I think
that's been us the whole show, Joe.
I know, yeah, but like,
okay, of course.
And I think the thing was because Americans, why I went big there, because they've never heard a regional accent. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like they used to like everyone being did push like Downton Abbey and stuff like that.
That's true.
Can you just give us that accent once more, though? Just do that accent.
Nah. You've had enough. You've had enough.
We'll play it back.
Play it back.
That's close.
So yeah, and then it just went massive, and then I had people taking the piss, people saying, "Why are British people eating pea juice?" I had some. It's a
fair question.
I had some girl that lives in Utah saying that she was in love with me. And like it's all stuff like that. It was mad. It was just mad.
That is mental. I mean, yeah, it's incredible content. I don't know how sort of whoever came up with the idea is fair play to them, and fair play to you for executing it so well. Incredible stuff. There you go, Joe Gilmore, who went viral due to the Wigan kebab, and was it Smack Barn P Wet as well?
Yeah, Smack Barn P Wet. Yeah.
Well remembered, man.
Thank you. I don't have it right in front of me, but yes, thank you. Right, so swiftly moving on. Swiftly moving on to sort of wrap up the show, so to speak. So we're just going to touch on, of course, like we said, it is transfer deadline day at the time of recording. We've got like less than 3 hours to go. So just to sort of tie it all in.
Just Tuesday.
Yeah. So first of all, just quickly, Joe, then. So you guys have signed Ben Godfrey, the Norwich centre half, I believe he is.
Yeah.
So first of all, just quickly, what do you think? Is that going to help strengthen your defence? Is that what you needed? Is he the right player?
Definitely. I mean, as I say, past couple of years we're okay now, but before we got the latest defenders in, we didn't really have a great pair of centre backs. We've always been a bit dodgy since we lost like Jagielka and stuff. So it's definitely good to have a bit of a backup. I watched a couple of clips of him on YouTube. I'm not going to lie and say I'm an absolute diehard Ben Godfrey fan, but I watched a bit of him on YouTube, and he looks quite decent for Norwich. Is it Norwich? Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
Norwich,
Yeah. But yeah. So he looks quite decent, and it's always good to have a backup defender, because Everton, we're literally the injury club FC. So yeah, I think it's a good signing for us, definitely.
So is
It was
that
an
how you see him,
absolute
then?
bargain, though, wasn't it? It was at the beginning of the window. They were saying 50 million. Yeah, that's it. If you only give us 50 million, yeah, they put price tag of 50 million on him, and then you managed to get him for 20 on deadline day. Like that's laughable. If I was a Norwich fan, I'd be well embarrassed at that.
I mean, still 20. I think Norwich will take 20 million all day.
Great. It's a good signing. It's a good deal.
Marcel Brands, mate. He got Hammers for free. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
crazy.
But wasn't there contradicting reports though? Like, wasn't there some people saying he went for 20 million, and some people saying he was for free? I
didn't see that, mate. All I seen was he got it for free. That's what I'm going with anyway.
I was thinking
if you got him for 20, it's a bargain. So either way,
for 20.
And as Ryan said just before, if you're a Brighton fan, this is just a regular day for us. So it's not actually transfer deadline day. But we have been linked. We
are signing Ryan 2 Romano, players, aren't we?
Oh no, Ryan Romano. Ryan Romano's going to give us the breakdown. So go on, Ryan. Kick us away, mate. Go on.
Well, I mean, it's nothing that no one already knows anyway. We're signing two Polish boys. I think one of them's a left back. I'm going to absolutely butcher his name here. Michael. I'm going to go with Karbovnik. I'm going to assume because they normally pronounce off, don't they, for W's?
Yeah.
So I'll say Karbovnik. He's a left wing back.
I will take that.
Yeah. Pacey, apparently. I spoke to a few journos in Poland again. But
bit weird, but
no,
as long as it's reliable.
I saw he was in someone's young team of the year or something like that. He was highly rated. I think he's right up there with one of the best talents. So I don't know much about him, but
we'd love to see that.
So one for the future. Him and
I'm watching his YouTube highlights.
Really good. So. I haven't done it yet. I have to do it a bit later on. But the other one's Jacob Moder. I think his name was midfielder, left-footed. 21.
Yeah, I love a left mid.
He looks good. I think he's like 6'3" or something as well. So he looks good as well. I think we might have him back for January if they don't qualify or they don't progress in the Europa League. So if that's the case, I think we get him back in January. So he could be one to watch, hopefully for us next year, technically.
Yeah. With two left-handed signers, is it both on the left-hand side?
I don't know. I think the other one. I think the midfielder's a holding midfielder.
Right.
The left back's a left back, but they're both going back on loan for the season. I think. But Jacob Moder, I think, has a potential of coming back in January if they don't progress or if we spend like an extra 2 mil or something like that. Okay. But it looks decent for us. But other than that, I think we should have been looking for a striker. I know it's going to be one of those ongoing debates until the end of time, but I think I think we've missed a trick not getting a striker this window. We brought in Sakiri.
We were looking at that guy. Sorry? I don't know if he's from Lille. Is it Bulai Dai? He's like a striker.
Oh yeah, the Dio guy, whatever his name was. Yeah, I think they've confirmed that they're not selling him. So that's
they are.
Yeah.
And the Premier League hasn't had a good record with Diaz in the past. So I don't know if you remember. Do you remember? Is it Ali Dio who played for Southampton? Got himself a move. Do you remember him? Like Bambi on Ice. He basically faked. Was it Sam Allardyce who signed it? Basically, long story cut short, so he basically sent his CV onto Southampton, basically came up with this fake story about how good a footballer he was. And he was
he was an AC Milan kid, wasn't he? He said he was like,
that's it.
John Barnes had bigged him up and stuff like that.
That's it. He was the cousin, or he claimed he was the cousin of
George Wayes. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And he turned up there, and apparently he was shocking. Like his debut, just all over the gaff, slipping over, couldn't kick the ball properly, like all a shambles. So as long as he's better than him, then
well, he's not coming anyway, so I think we're better off getting him on Bambi on Ice.
Well, we'll see. We've got a couple of hours to go. It could be a miracle. You never know. But of course, if we do sign anyone, you will be hearing about it in our next pod.
Sign Bambi, please.
Yeah. Hashtag sign Bambi. We'll see. I'm very much doubtful. But it's been a okay transfer window for us. I mean, I think in general, I don't know what you guys think. Do you think? About you, Ben?
I think it's been decent. I mean, we did the early business, didn't we? We got Lallana. And then
Yep.
we got Veltman. I'm not sure about Veltman yet. He didn't have a great game against Everton.
Yeah,
but
same.
it's a bit early to judge. So yeah, I was happy with them. But then all of a sudden it went a bit quiet. We tied Ben White down, which was a great business. Then we got Dunk on a long contract. But yeah, I think personally our go-to target should have been a left back and a striker. I think that was clear for anyone to see. But then with that being
Agreed.
said, Mark's been great since coming back this season. But yeah, no, I still think we need a striker. We'll see how Zakiri settles in.
Being optimistic, we're going into Jan with a summer budget because we haven't really spent anything, have we? So
yeah, I think we've only spent like $1 million, haven't we?
Yeah,
so
obviously
far,
within Jakob Moda is going to be like 6 mil, I think I saw. God knows what the left wing back is.
Put it up to about 10 million in total.
We should have a decent budget in January. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, interesting to see. And then finally, Joe, from you, from an Everton perspective, what do you think of your transfer business? I'm sure I know the answer. But...
We haven't really done much, to be honest.
10 out of 10 for Everton, surely.
Every year, it's 10 out of 10. Like maybe 9.5 because we haven't got a reserve goalkeeper. But like, you can't fault them for that. But as I say, the main thing for us is. Every season, we say we win the transfer window. It always happens. We say we win the transfer window.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
And then all our signings are crap. But like straight off the mark now, Rodriguez, Alan, I know he's injured now, but and Decore. To be honest, the one who's shocked me the most is Decore. I think Decore's work rate is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable.
So he was great at Watford as well.
Yeah, and he was great for Watford. But yeah, I can't fault it really, can you?
Yeah, I couldn't put it any better, to be honest. Yeah, strong 9.5. I agree with the backup keeper. I think, you definitely need someone to get a bit of competition to Pickford. But you never know, mate. You've got, another 2.5 hours to go. So you never know. But no, Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been great having you. Some great stories. And I hope you guys listening enjoyed it as well. And of course, thank you for Ben and Ryan, as per every week.
If you go to Wigan, make sure to get a pea wet and a Wigan and ask for some snack as well. You'll get something.
You might get something.
You'll definitely get something, Ben. That's for sure.
40p snack.
But no, absolute pleasure, guys, and we'll see you next week.